dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. Yep. It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you this evening. How do I know? Because I said so, and we typically do provide you with answers and solutions to marital situations as well as relationships. And tonight it will be no different. We'll be talking about, is being married greater than being single? Seeing as though this day and age people are having, challenges to do either. And so we're going to see what the panel says about some of the questions that we have. So as you come in, don't forget to like, share, comment on what's going on, and let us know what you think about the topics. All right, and the question that we're going to start off with is, if you came with a disclaimer, what would it say? I know that we probably asked this question before, but we got new people that can give their own perspective. And so we're going to start with none other than Mr. Preacher himself. Give him grace. Shout out to Robert in the building.
Oh my gosh. You know what, man? It's crazy because my answer is about to be totally carnal. I
had that feeling.
Look, if I came with a disclaimer, it would be I've been divorced twice and I got 3 kids. Yeah.
Dang, that you just gonna give them the truth out the jump.
If I came with a disclaimer, I've been divorced twice and I got 3 kids. I'm just that's my disclaimer. Scan me.
I was not I wasn't looking for that one at all. Yeah. That's what's up. Appreciate you for being here, homie.
Always, Doc.
That's a bet. Hey, and introducing none other from all the way from H-Town. And she's not the bus lady today. She's just chilling in the cut with the Smash Bros. In the building, Ash.
Mine would be proceed with caution. She's not for the weak. What you looking like that for? See, you always got an attitude.
Why?
Why would?
Okay, go ahead.
So Robert can tell his truth, but I can't say mine.
But his was self-explanatory though.
Yeah.
Proceed with caution. That is. Hey, it's what do you see on some of these?
Are you not nice? Are you saying you're not?
Why?
Nice?
Because you're crazy. Like what is it? You know.
There you go, crazy.
You got 6 toes. What's up?
I might just proceed with caution. Everybody can't handle when you're not being fake, when you're not putting on a face. So therefore, proceed with caution. We have talked about this before. Everybody walks around with their avatar out and ready to mingle in public. So I just say proceed with caution, because I'm not wearing an avatar. It's me.
That's
a lot of people say that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're putting on an act." Really, you really don't know me. Okay, I don't fit your reality, so I'm putting on an act. Okay, so see, proceed.
I got you. Okay, I got you. Well, appreciate you being back. It's been a moment, so we miss you, Ash. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Hey, and none other than Mr. Strongman himself. Prototype in the building. What's good, homie?
What's going on? Sheesh. My disclaimer would probably be something like, let's talk about it. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? So people always misconstrue like I'm a bully or whatever. But I say what I say, but I could be wrong. Let's talk about it. As you guys found out, you know, the homie ain't here today, but you understand what it is.
The only time I've ever seen you say I'm wrong was from Jamie.
Yeah.
And that's been twice in like 2 years.
It's possible. Anything is
I done shut him down too.
Anything is fine.
I think I done shut him down once too, but it's all good. It's all good.
You may have shut him down, but he did not say he agreed. That's all.
I'm gonna pull the clip when I said what I said, and he was in the background like my dog. I'm gonna pull the clip.
Hey, we got some newcomers to the stage, man. We're gonna welcome Mr. Andrick in the building. What's up, homie?
How you guys doing, man?
Doing well. Thank you for being here. What you got on the question?
I would say that don't ask if you don't really want to know.
Well, I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah, sometimes people ask questions because they're looking for a specific answer. They're not necessarily looking for the answer you want to give.
That's what's up. I appreciate you being here.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And hey, we got the singing couple in the building. Y'all don't know it, but I do. I get to hear them pretty much every Sunday in the building. They go hard in the paint. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, we in here.
Shift this site. We got Sid and we got Bear. Who's gonna go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think my disclaimer would be always listening for hidden trauma.
Okay.
Always listening for hidden trauma. Like, how do you do that? Like, what?
I don't do it on purpose, but because I've been sort of in this space and a coach for so long, it's just kind of a natural thing. Like you're just talking kind of, and you're just talking, but I'm hearing other stuff.
You hear the trauma in with the conversation. Okay, I got you. That's what's up, Bear. What you got on it?
Yeah. I would say I'm healed, but I'm petty. Yeah.
I like that one. I ain't even gonna lie.
It's a good.
Sid,
You might need to.
too. I like yours too, Sid, but that was good. I like that.
You might need to put that on the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
How often are you petty?
All the time.
Dang.
It's pretty
Feel
much
like he was talking out of his trauma one time, and she called him out on it. So
yeah.
And then he was petty.
That's
what's up. Well, appreciate y'all being here, man. It's gonna be really good. All right, here we go. Hey, she in her car, bro. You know what I'm saying? Here she go, Miss Renee. We can't see nothing about you. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear us though?
I can hear you guys. I'll be home in like 2 minutes though. But
Okay, that's a bet. What you got on the question?
Renee.
If you came with a disclaimer, what would it say?
My disclaimer would be I am definitely a tit for tat type person. So if you do me good, I do you great. But if you do me wrong, I'll become your worst nightmare.
That's that was not me. Hey,
I wasn't talking about you. That was prototype.
Hey man, in the Barry White of them all, we call him lost in translation in the building.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. If I had a disclaimer, it would come with bring your A game to ride this ride. That's it. That goes for friends. That goes for family. That goes for anybody I do business with. Because I will not distinguish my shine for those who do not wish to come along for the ride.
That's
Yes.
tough, bro.
We have too many people who have associated themselves with mediocrity, man, and they've gotten comfortable with it. If you're going to be mediocre, I suggest that you get away from me because we don't do that over here.
That's what's up. Well, welcome back. I appreciate you, homie.
Thank you, sir.
And none other than the battle rapper of the year himself, but he also knows the Lord. Street Hymns in the building. What's up, homie?
What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good?
It's good. Did you get the question? The question is, if you came with a disclaimer, what would it say?
If I came with a disclaimer, what would it say? I keep a gas mask because I love to smoke.
Yeah, that's good. I know prototype like that for real. Because he always wants. He ready for the smoke, and he be giving it. Mine would be, I'm asking for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like my questions are very intentional, and I really want to know when I'm asking you about how you are, if I'm or even if I'm challenging you with how you're thinking, I'm actually wanting to know why do you think that way. I have a genuine concern about your purview, and so maybe we can learn. Maybe I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. This is going to be good. So the first question, let me see if I got my, I'm going to do the question first. And the first question is, do you believe men would rather be married or single? Do you believe men would rather be married or single? And we're going to start with Robert.
Hey, y'all. So I'm going to lead off by talking out of my pain, Miss Sid. I'm going to let you jump on me in from the beginning. All right, so check it out. So because my disclaimer was talking about, I said I'm divorced a couple times and got some kids. I'm answering from a vantage point. And I would say, I think at large, men would like to be married, but when you've lost a lot, we start to determine whether it's worth it or not. And so in a space that I operate in, while I believe in it, while I talk it and preach it every Sunday, it's not something that I'm willing to force for the sake of, public opinion. It's not something that I'm subjecting myself to having to have in order to feel validated by my community, feeling validated by my family, feeling validated by friends, things of the such. That being the case, I have to be intentional about having boundaries and conditions that are in alignment with that. I can't say one thing in terms of not really wanting to, establish community from a marriage standpoint and out here acting like a hoe, right? So I gotta have boundaries in what that looks like. So I have to be all the way in, all the way out. And I just think that there's a time and space, especially in the innocence, right? Where men are like, you know what, my purpose in life is to grow up, get a job, father and husband, right? Provide security, all those different things. But then there's an opportunity in space where you get broken from what that looks like. And so if you're ever graced or challenged or given the opportunity to do it again, you got to protect what you have left. And so for the men, speaking from my vantage point, who have the opportunity to wed again or be in love again or be in relationship again, would we like to be married? Yes. But the question about worth is going to always be on the table. And I think we need to normalize worth being on the table because what we don't talk about is men getting something out of the deal equally. You know what I mean? A lot of times men have to operate in their sacrifice and the thanklessness of it. And that's kind of how you pay yourself. But I think we should normalize, equal estate, as it pertains to relationship. That's all I got. My man, Dwayne, go ahead, dog.
Hey, what up, beautiful people?
What's up, bro? You got the question?
I do. But first I want to apologize for y'all to y'all because I'm a little later than usual.
You're always late.
I know, but later than usual. All right. Now the reason is I've been going through deep depression today. I found out I'm getting old. I found out today I'm getting old. Played soccer this weekend. My ankle done came up on me. Found out I'm getting old. So I apologize there, y'all.
So you late because you rolled your ankle, my guy?
Man, I ran as fast as I could, okay? I ran as fast as I could to get here on time. I tried too. Boy. He tried.
What you got on the question? Do you believe men would rather be married or single?
I would say absolutely married. As I believe men desire to be mature. And I'm gonna pull a loss. Let me tell you why. The reason is, even from a young age, if you look at your kids, even if they are a year apart, they would use that year as leverage to separate themselves. Even as a grade apart, they will use that grade as leverage. Oh, you in the second grade, I'm in the third grade. So I think as men, we desire to be mature. I think even as human beings, we desire to be mature. So there becomes a time where, just like the Bible says, the childish things fade away. and you now become mature in your ways. You're no longer with the milk, you're with the meat. So from that standpoint, I'm like, hey, you know what? Men desire that maturity level. And I think the disconnect is the lack of taught, the lack of training in that. So if you're trained in that mindset, the earlier you will adapt to it. So yeah, absolutely. I believe that men would prefer to be married than being single.
All right, bet. Who you got?
Renee, you went yet?
No, I haven't.
Come on with it.
I'm not a man, so I don't really know.
Listen, don't do that, Renee. Don't do that. You literally have a thought on this. Like, listen, when I put these questions together, I know who's gonna be saying particulars. Go ahead.
I think men do like. I think they would like to be married, but I think they would also like to have options too.
Are you shading? Like, which one is it? Do you see the or, Renee? Renee, it's an or. Like, I need you to choose. Which one?
That's not an answer?
Can you just choose one of them?
I'm gonna say they want to be married.
Okay, now you nobody believes you.
You're not being yourself.
You're not being yourself
You're
at
not
all.
being yourself.
We got
We
got new people in the
I
house.
don't even believe that.
Let me answer that. Renee would have answered that. Let me tell you what Renee wants to say. Okay, I got this. I'm done in one sentence. I think men want to have sex. That's exactly. So when you say, "Do men want to be married?" Her answer should have been, "I think men want to have sex." That would have been what Renee would have said, and that would have been it.
All right, cool, Renee. That's your answer. Who you
That's
got
your
going
answer.
next? Who you got going next, Renee?
That speaks to the options.
Yeah.
Lost, have you gone yet?
Not yet, darling.
Come on, 6'4".
Thank you. I honestly believe men want to be married if they do it the way they want to do it. You know, far too many times, men have been in relationships where they've been disrespected, talked about, no matter how hard they work. You know, have had things taken away from them, talked bad about. You know what I mean? But I think for the most part, if men were honored in relationships, if men were respected, if what they said went the way it was supposed to go, if obedience was on the menu, you know what I'm saying? So that way you don't have to sacrifice as much. I honestly believe that men would like to be married, but that ain't the case today. And I'm going to tell you why. The media portrays men as the enemy. They pervade them as the harbingers of death and destruction. You know what I mean? Everything bad is associated with man. So I think that most men probably want to be married if they do it the way they want to do it. But today ain't that day. And until people actually learn how to respect the position of men and the authority of men, I think men going forward are going to be very, very careful with how they handle marriage. And I'm going to go with Prototype next.
It's so funny when Dwayne said, "I'm gonna act like Lost," and then you did the exact same thing. But let me tell you why. But no, my answer is simple. I think men want to be married. Period. We don't really want to be climbing the streets for real, but you know what I'm saying. But the options lead us to do whatever. But yeah, no, men want to be married. Let's go with street hymns.
Yeah. I would say that most men I know want to be married, but most men I know don't feel like they're in the season for marriage, and it's not what I would say the reality. I think it's the pressure of what the minimalizing of the standard is, and so men who make an average wage are being told it's not enough. And so the average man doesn't feel like he's enough. And so if he doesn't feel like he's enough, he's not going to feel like he's ready for marriage. So I think although most men desire marriage. Along with that desire is the pressure of success. And a lot of men don't match the pressure of success with their desires. And so there's a lot of hesitation in the actual pursuit and committal. Shift the site. Talk to me.
You first.
Okay. I think men think they want to be married. I don't think they actually want to be married. So one of the most common things that we hear as like marriage recovery coaches is the men saying, I thought I wanted to be married, but then I got married and I didn't expect this to be what it was. I had no idea what it was. We hear that all the time. So I think they kind of want to be married or maybe think they should be married. But ultimately, I think that a lot of men would rather be single.
On you, Ben.
Yeah, I think that men would rather be single. I think they'd rather be single. I think they want marriage or they want the commitment without the responsibility or the weight of marriage. So
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So Andrew, so everybody will get an opportunity to respond, but I like to give people's first perspectives. Andrew, on you.
I would say yes, that I believe most men want to be married. I think that if I were to throw a disclaimer on that, it's when I think men have a certain vision for what the marriage is supposed to be. So to kind of go on what Streetham said, when they see themselves being able to fulfill that, then I think that they're ready for it. I think they want it, but when they're ready for it is when they see themselves being able to fulfill a vision for marriage. And I think part of that includes provision and some other things. So.
Okay, that's a bet. Street, I saw your face crunch up. I saw somebody else do something. I missed somebody I know, but Street, can you Ash too?
Yeah.
Oh, Ash, you ain't win yet? Oh, that's my bad. Go ahead, Ash.
Well, since everybody want to be on the marriage train, I'm gonna go to the opposite. I'm saying they want to be single because really there ain't no more benefits out here for being married. Because it's like when they get married, things are taken. I'm talking about financial, kids, anything that they built that thought was gonna last. And baby, get your hand off your face. Everybody know your breath stink. I nobody care. But anyway, I'm gonna be the devil advocate and say, they want to be single. Because then if they single, if you messing with a bird, you really ain't losing nothing but money and time, but you getting what you want, you get in the box, what's the saying, you get in the box, entertain them to get what you want and then leave them. So at the end of the day, you really ain't losing nothing. You was going to lose that money anyway. If you got a little gambling problem or if you like to bet on the game because football season is coming. I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm just going to take it another way.
Man, ooh, y'all feisty today. Hey, Street, what was the look for?
Yeah, I don't know if people actually talking to people in the world, but that's just not the reality. Most men, if you ask most men if they want to be married, they'll say yes. I think what happens is, okay, no N-word. People watch the podcasts and then make the minority speak up for the majority. People watch people who actually are confident enough to shoot their shots and then make that person speak up for the majority, when most men really don't be shooting their shots. Most men are timid. Most men are not aggressive, even in their approach, which is a complaint you hear from a lot of women. Like they'll go somewhere and no men are talking to them, but if you talk to the men, they want to talk, but they just don't know how to. So I think most men actually lack the confidence to initiate it. So I don't think it's fair to make it men aren't doing, like men don't want it. And then what I'm hearing is like, I get who you're talking about, but that doesn't make up the majority of men. To whoever said no, that's just not like, if you call, I would encourage you to call 10 of your single homies and say, do they want marriage? And then what are they going to say? And y'all really going to say no? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah. That's cool. So let me ask you really quick, right? Where are you getting most from?
30-year-olds.
No. I'm saying you said like, who are you talking to, right? You said there's a minority, there's a majority. So if
you can go to the youth I work with. You can go to the men I disciple.
Yeah.
You can go to the polls I run on a majority of the time, like on my followers.
Okay, so like if we talk to men majority of the time, then could we use that as well, like that same baseline?
Well, the thing is like when you talk about men majority of the time, if you're talking about the men who actually are out there trying to smash whatever is in the vicinity, that's also not the majority of men.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you choose what majority is?
Statistics.
Okay, where are those at? Where are those statistics?
Well, I mean, you look at the men who are getting married, and then the men who aren't getting married, and the men who are involuntarily celibate, the men who are on the median, and then the men who actually are having sex, which is 20%. You know, so that's the statistics you can talk about. The men who are actually, like, the men who are having intimacy and shooting their shots are the same ones that the same women are messing around with. And then we think they make up the majority, but they don't make up the majority of men, they make up the minority.
I don't think his questioning is fair because he's trying to make him prove something that he can't himself prove the opposite.
Yeah, but I mean, we do know.
I'm talking about shifted side. You're trying to make Street Hymns go through explanation of why he knows what he knows, and which the majority of us agree with, compared to like where you're getting your statistics. You're trying to make him prove something that you can't even prove on the opposite end.
Well, that's actually my point, and I'm glad you said that. Right, the point is.
Well, I know. Wait, you can address what I did.
Real quick,
what I did say though.
Says majority of men want something that he cannot prove, and then someone else says
you can prove it.
Want something that they
hold on one at a time.
Then neither can prove anything. Correct. So that's really the only point I was making.
No, you can prove it right now. Text 10 of your homies, just random. Text 10 of your homies and honestly text 10 of them and then say, do you want to be single homies?
Get your anecdotal experience. Get your anecdotal answer.
We don't do anecdotal experiences to talk about the majority.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is I'm that confident that it doesn't matter who you talk to. If you go to any span of people, 10 people, they're going to say they want marriage. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Whether or not they're prepared for it, bro, even if you talk to these red pill niggas who don't know what they're talking about, they're gonna say they want marriage, but they have no preparation, no idea what's going on. Like the desire, not the readiness, not the preparation. We're saying the desire,
Street Hymns. So I love what you said. You said something about talking about dudes in the category of 30 and above. I love what you said because we do want marriage. Where we evaluate its worth is when we have an encounter with a woman that lacks accountability.
Sure.
That's exactly what it is. Like that's just what it is. I'm telling you, when men are dating a woman with the intent to be in a successful relationship, I promise you within 3 months, 2 months, sometimes 30 days, guys, I'm ready to marry her. But then the accountability pill comes up. And they shift blame, they shift responsibility, they show a sign of weakness. And so now we're asking ourselves, I'm speaking again from a guy who's lost some things. Because of what I lost, is it worth me coaching you through what this looks like?
For sure.
Is it worth me losing again at the sake of trying to help you when possibly you'll take from me in the end anyways? Because we all know who you divorce is not who you hook up with. Who you divorce is not who was throwing it back. I'm just being real. And so for me, and I'm trying to make sure I don't talk out of my pain because I don't want Sid to come get me. But I'm just being real. I don't need the newcomer to come get me. But it's not operating out of pain. It's learning the lesson and operating through awareness. And so you can't be mad at me and you can't call it pain when you're doing something that's congruent to what I've experienced in my past. And then I make the decision because I understand my worth, I understand my value, and I don't want to go to that losing state again. You know what I mean? And so I love what you said, man, Street Hymns. And I didn't look this up, but I got 10 homies right now that I could text right now, and all them niggas want to be married. They all want a wife. They all want a family. Because I remember I was talking about this one time. Father's Day, there was a message that was preached. And he basically said, without going through all the whole thing, he said 80% of men who are married with their children have higher self-esteem because we're called to something. You see what I'm saying? And so men want to be called to something until we realize being called to it doesn't bring us back value. You ain't gotta pay me. You ain't gotta do a whole lot, but let me feel valued within my sacrifice. And the moment I don't feel valued within my sacrifice, that's when marriage is not worth it. That's all I got.
Let me lost on you. Let me get lost in, and then I'm gonna go to you, Proto, and then I'm gonna get whoever needs to.
I'm clipping all that.
Yeah, do that,
On my
Robert. Do that, Robert.
Yeah.
Listen, I want y'all to pay attention to a few things. Usually, people call me the Deadpool of podcasting, and I'm explaining to you what I just saw. All of the women said that men don't want to be married. All of the men said, I do want to be married. Let me tell you why that's a problem, okay? Most of the time, I'm going to explain to you why it's a problem. The problem is because we look at things from our own rose-colored glasses, okay? Women are speaking from a spirit of loss if they lose a man, if he's going to use her, if she's going to use something. So automatically in her mind, she's going to think he's going to be a cheater. He wants to be out here in these streets. No matter what they say, he's going to be a philanderer, have all these women on the side. I'm here to tell you, men don't want to do that. And I'll tell you why. If a man can get everything that he wants from one woman, that's it. That's the goal, to get out of the goal. Now, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that most women don't think that they are enough. Well, here's the problem with that. Most men are not asking you to be enough. They're just asking you to be good enough. And that's it. And that's it. Men ain't asking if you do a whole lot, because most men want to take charge. All you got to do is be nice to them. That's it. If you can do that, if you can handle that, you'll be just fine. That's it. Also, there's another caveat to it as well, too. You also have men who have something to lose. Those men will not give you an honest answer because they have something to lose. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is this. That's the main reason why we get a lot of pushback from men in these spaces, because they may be married or they may have somebody in their corner or whatever, and they can't exactly say what they want to say because they're going to lose something. You see what I'm saying? So we're not necessarily going to get an honest answer. So if you do the calculus and you do the math, you get all the women on one side, you get all the men on one side, and then you got that sliver of men in the middle who kind of side with the women. So it kind of leans the boat to one side. So it overshadows what the men are telling you. So if men are telling you that they want to be married, but if they could have the woman of their dreams, they would stay married. But that ain't the reality. The reality is that most divorces are filed by women because they don't want to be. And that is the ugly truth that nobody wants to talk about. Now, with that being said, if we really want to be real about this thing, that is where we need to look instead of blaming the men.
Prototype on you.
No, I was going to speak to. I think everybody on the pod right now are Christians, right? Just nod your head if you are. Like, everybody's believers, right? Except for Renee, she ain't nod her head. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna work on you.
Y'all gonna leave Renee alone, man.
But
straight, Proto, before you go, we are not leaving Renee alone, Street, because Renee can hold her own. I know Renee holds her own very well, especially in the back chat. But then when we get on this,
we in front of mixed company.
My bad. My fault. Prototype.
So I would just say this, man. Since we all believers and we all believe the word of God, man, the word of God is an anecdotal experience. It's a book of anecdotal experience. So for you to discredit the anecdotal, man, you discredit in the Bible.
Anybody?
So, like, are you saying it's not good that man be alone? So we have that natural desire to cling and to cleave. Is that the concept you're addressing, bro?
No, I'm saying that the Bible is a story. It's everybody's anecdotal. You know, Matthew's and Joshua's, and you know what I'm saying, Judges. Those are anecdotal stories. Those are anecdotal experiences.
Can you use another word? I don't know what that means.
Your own personal experience. Your own personal experience.
I know a lot of things. I ain't know what that word was. Okay.
So
all right.
The Bible is a lot of people's own personal experience with God, with Christ. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I can't take that, then you know what I'm saying, you can't can't take the word if you can't take an anecdotal fact.
So what you got it straight?
I'm missing the connection.
So
to the
you know when y'all both were saying, and Sid, you can come in and if you need to.
Yeah.
You want to go, Sid?
Yeah. So definitely there are lots of anecdotal stories in the Bible. That's not the whole Bible, but definitely we're not discrediting. Bear wasn't discrediting the anecdotal experience. It was saying that anecdotal is different from statistical. That's it.
He was discrediting. Let him stand on it.
No, not at all. Anecdotal and statistics are different things, right? So statistics are rooted in fact, in information, and anecdotal is experience.
Yeah, they are different for sure. Dwayne, what you got?
Yeah, I want to jump in there real quick. If you can explain, whenever you said speaking to the dudes or the guys that didn't want to be married, can you elaborate a little bit on that? As for like, what did they encounter that didn't? Was it that they wanted to be single again, or was it their experience of the person that they chose?
Say, Dwayne, turn your mic down a little bit. Go ahead.
I got you.
Well, when I said that they wanted to be single, I was going off experience and upbringing. That's where I was taking it from. I wasn't taking it from all the statistics and all that, because y'all know I'm not going to do all that. I do
No, I think it was shifted.
Oh.
Yeah, I think she was saying based upon was it the work that y'all do?
Yeah, right. So we're marriage recovery coaches. What I was saying is that I think a lot of men do think that they want marriage, 100%. But once they get into marriage and they realize what it actually is and the heaviness and the weight of it, they're more like, I didn't actually want this.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to. So was it the fact of they wanted to return to being single, or was it the person that they were now dealing with?
I mean, I don't think you can really separate the two.
Oh, I definitely believe you can. Oh, I most definitely believe you can, because from a standpoint, women sell themselves to be something in order to be chosen. Okay. And then whenever it gets to that, whenever they get the bag, now they are like, I'm in there, and then they could actually show who they really are. And for the guy, now he can now granted he could do the same thing, but in the inverse now. It's him who chose her, not her who chose him. So in the selection in which he made now, and he's like, this is what I chose, and these are all the criteria that I need you to meet, and she met those criteria. Was it that he wanted to go back to being single, or was it that she no longer met up to those criteria in which he fell in love with, in which he chose? So that's what I'm asking, like that the question like that, to get your experience on, and what is it? Which one was it? Did they want to return to being single, or was it that this person, like Law said, for the accountability piece, because now you get the opportunity to relinquish accountability because you already got the bag or the man?
Dwayne, that's a good question, Doc.
Yeah, sure. I think definitely that goes both ways, right? The whole mask thing until you're picked, that's definitely a both way thing. But we've seen both. Like we've seen it. They just don't, I don't even know that it's necessarily the singleness of it, but they just don't want the weight of marriage anymore. And that's with people who like, they have explained and admitted that their wife is a good wife. They do the things that they want them to do. They are getting what they need. They just don't want to be the provider or whatever else they are expected to be. They just don't want to do it. Or at least not for
hold on real quick. Let her finish. I want because Andrew, he has some experience in this too. Is that fair to say, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Can you lean into the part of the conversation that Sid is talking about? And also to address similar to what Dwayne was asking.
Yeah, I don't. My perspective, I guess I would disagree a bit on that they don't want to be married. I think that a lot of the struggles that we have or see in marriage is just because of a lack of awareness or information of what it is and the responsibilities. And so, if it's a situation where a guy's coming into the situation and he doesn't really understand what his responsibilities are, then in that situation, I could see you saying, okay, I wasn't ready for that. But I think that goes both ways. I think that the idea and the purpose of marriage has been lost through just social media and culture and society. And so, I think that people are trying to put something together and they don't really know what it is. But I think at its core, at men's core, their heart, they want to be married. They have a vision for what their life would look like as a married man. But that requires two parties. That it takes two to tango. I think in our society, there's still more. There's a lot more emphasis on men, for example, and I don't think that it's enough. A lot more emphasis on men on learning how to treat women, how to be a husband or whatnot. And women, I don't feel like they get the same. They don't have the same understanding. It's not the same value emphasis being taught on a man's need for respect, a man's need to be honored. I mean, a guy work a job and lose an arm or a leg, knowing that that's a risk if that's a place where he feels like he can be honored and he's respected. And so I feel like that's the thing that's out of balance, that there's just a lack of awareness, there's a lack of understanding of what the purpose and original idea of marriage is. But Streets, you hit it earlier. I would allude to the fact that God said in the beginning, it's not good for man to be alone. Two are better than one. There's a component of that is it is an advantage. It's more advantageous for us to be united with someone. But I think we both need to bring some understanding to the table of what that is and what that looks like.
That's good. But also Paul said that it would be good to be single. You see what I'm saying? So if I add that into there, because he said that he wasn't saying that it was God that said it, but he's saying from his perspective, that's what he would see, that men should be, not necessarily men, but people should be single because of the requirement that goes with it. What do you want to?
There was a big if in there.
If right. What?
If you can control yourself and your hormones.
Well,
I said that earlier. Well, yo, I mean,
well, based on what Streetham said, that there's a lot of involuntary individuals.
Involuntary.
Hey, y'all leaving words out.
No, but no, that if
they don't want it.
I know they want. I'm just saying, but they can't get it.
That if does not land them in the
that ain't them
51%.
I got you. Go ahead, finish your thought, Dwayne. We're gonna transition because y'all know what's probably coming next. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate what you said, but Paul was on it. But if you can and you are able to remain single in order for your purposes to serve God, yes, go for it. But if you can control yourself, be married. Be married. So that's the difference of the promiscuity piece of it as for being single. The purpose, I would say, of being single, if you are single and you're not being promiscuous, go for it. But if you're single and being promiscuous, you just playing the field. You just being a wolf. You just being a wolf.
Okay, I got you. All right, we're gonna transition with this one. All right, I'm gonna play a video. Y'all tell me what you think.
If you want an alpha man that could protect you, that could provide for you, that could reinforce you and revalidate you and edify you, you are going to have to learn silence. Because if you be combative, and Mr. B. Ware said that in the beginning, confrontational, it looks really tacky. When you can learn to be quiet when he's going crazy or when he's not being what you need, be quiet and be patient, and do go back and address the situation when the energy is clear. Don't be confrontational with no king or no man. Let the dust settle. Let the energy, kind of diminish and go down, and then come back and say, baby, I want to ask you a question. What did you mean by what you said?
Hey, y'all know did y'all want to say something, Sid?
Oh, no. I was just wondering what she meant by going crazy, like a man being crazy.
Like a man going crazy?
Yeah. She said, let him be crazy.
I would only assume, because I didn't watch the whole part, but I would only assume if he is in a maybe volatile state, maybe he is erratic in how he's conversing with you. That's what I would say, to not to give too much information, because I'm definitely about to go to Renee first. All right. Renee. What's your thoughts?
I agree with her. I think you should.
Yo, y'all's faces, man.
I don't know why y'all think I'm just like this. I am not a heathen all the time. So I do think that arguing is not good. So if someone's irate or agitated, me disagreeing or going back and forth is going to make it worse. So I'm going to let you get everything you have out and sit silently. But we're going to revisit once you calm down, because I need to understand for clarification, like why you think the way you think. And then I'll give my 2 cents on how I feel about it. But when you irate, you can't really hear clearly or think clearly anyway, because you're going on your tangent. And if you're being disrespectful going on your tangent, I'm not listening anyway.
Renee, is that something you learned,
What?
already put into practice, or are trying to learn?
Which part?
All of it.
Oh no, that's something that I learned from trial and error.
Who you got going next?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
I see why you picked up first.
Yeah, you see. Well, for me, if I answer the question, no doubt, I definitely agree in the sense of men do not like to be in a combative state with women. I'm talking about men. I'm not talking about trash dudes, as I call them. But there are times where a dude will get to a point of where he's angry or upset, and he is not using the appropriate words or compassion to deliver his message. And so just like a woman would want a guy to match her energy, a guy doesn't want a woman to match his energy either, right? So it's important for whoever is the mature one in the moment to use maturity and be silent and then come back and have that conversation. So that's what I would say. So yes, I'm typically going back and forth and choosing a side, but I see that can work both ways. But it seems to be a little bit more compassion when men deliver a message. I mean, when a woman is, because a woman is delivering a message and a man is absorbing it, then vice versa, though. That's what I've seen. All right. And I'm going to go with Ash.
Here we go with the shenanigans. I was last, and now I got to be up in the second and third. But okay, whatever. I'm agree with Renee, because it is a learned thing. I had to learn how to stop arguing and listening, because I was arguing to defend what I was saying in my point of view, but I wasn't really hearing what the man at that time was saying, if that makes sense, because it is something that we are not taught and programmed to do. It is something that you really had to buckle down, even if you got to put your phone on mute and say what you got to say, even though what you're saying is irrelevant, because that man is trying to express himself. Yeah, it's like I said, this is something I have practiced, but now I just avoid confrontation because I don't like it. I'm too old to be arguing. It takes a lot, because I had to sit down in early 20s and realize, it really takes a lot to argue with somebody, to go back and forth, the yelling, and then you got to lay next to this person and then go to sleep. And then act like everything is okay the next day. I'm not okay, because if I want you out my space, really. I need my space clear. You get what I'm saying? I can't deal with you right there, and I just argued with you, and I probably told you, go to the place where you shall burn for eternity. I'll go hit by a bus or something. Hey, I'm a low.
Were you gonna be driving the bus, Ash?
Hey, I might have to roll it 4 or 5 times to drop you off and come back and get my rest break. You never know with me. I'll take it there, but I try not to. That's why I said it's a work in progress still, because I will still argue with you, especially when I feel like you're wrong, but you don't see you're wrong. But I'll let loud talk argue. No, I don't do it. I try not to.
I love Ash. You are.
Why? Thank you.
Who you got going next? Street. The only reason why I said her driving the bus, because she's a bus driver.
I really do. Yeah. And I gotta go to work tomorrow, and I don't want to, but I gotta go.
It was still good, even if she wasn't. That was
okay.
That was still funny.
Dwayne, what you got?
Yeah, I like what you said, HD. the contentious piece of it, right? That if I want an argument, if I want to debate, I call HD. I call you. I'll call you. Okay. I ain't married to you. But my wife, I don't need my wife acting like my homeboys. I don't need my wife acting like my dude friends with the masculine energy. Like that feminine, sometimes that, well, not sometimes, a majority of that time in that feminine, you fall back. And I'm not talking about to an abusive person, or an abusive dude. Like I'm saying, if you desire to be led, then you have to be able to follow directions and follow instructions. And I'm not saying that in no misogynistic way. No. I'm saying that in a way like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to roll. And then it's like, all right. And then instead of having a confrontation, the back and forth, it's like, all right, I like the fact that she said we can address this. Like you could come back, or somebody may mention it, you could come back and address it. That is perfect, right? Because what happens is it gives you time, because men don't operate off that emotions in that moment in time, right? So you say something and it don't sit right with us. Sometimes we'll sit there and we'll have to chew on it. Then we'll get back to you. Oh, I'm not sure if women can do that. They got to respond. They got to let you know how they feel right then and there. So with that, I like what she was saying. Fall back, take a moment, don't operate off emotions, and then think about it. Then we can address it.
Did you go on mute to call somebody's name, Dwayne?
He did.
I sure did.
Mute
I
Jones.
think it like 3 times. My bad. Let me make it.
I think he did it on purpose this time.
I did. That's my thing. Shift it. Come on with it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to handle it, to avoid just a red button major blow up. Is this scenario, is this like a married situation, or is this just a man and a woman just in an
This is a man and a woman. She did not say she did not confirm to say that it was married or not.
Yes, definitely. Don't argue back. But I think anytime anyone mentions violence or they're in a rage or anything like that, I don't really know at what point you're looking to have that conversation when they calm down, especially if you don't have to be with this person in the future. I don't really see that. So I definitely don't think that you should egg on that conversation. But I just don't know why you would want to have it with that said person.
Everybody good?
Everybody put you on mute when you're speaking. That's probably what. Finish your thought, Bear.
No, that was it. I was in it right there.
Yeah, we ain't hear it, bro. You gotta say it again.
Can y'all hear me?
Sorry, we were trying to figure out if it's us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you now. We couldn't at first though. Just
What was the
what
last
you
thing y'all heard me
said.
say?
We didn't hear most of it really.
Don't pursue something that, you know, if you don't have a relationship with this person, don't pursue it at that point. You know what I'm saying? But only engage if it's really worth it and they have a relationship. But if it's somebody you don't necessarily know, you don't have to re-engage that conversation because it's just not worth it, because you don't even know that person. You're not going to deal with them.
Right. Yeah, that's basically where I was ending it. I don't see the need to involve yourself with someone who can be at that level with you. That's not a safe space for you. So I would hope that people aren't giving time and space, but let's see how they act when they're calm. Be calm with me in that time as well. So that's my personal opinion on it. And I'm gonna go to hymns.
Let's go. Hey, you did a
You're
mute
muted.
Jones.
This is a mute show.
Indeed. Yeah, I don't know if I concur with Dwayne's sentiment that men have more self-control than women. I guess in non-confrontation. But yeah, I think that is definitely something that's helpful, and I think that's good general advice, to not engage when somebody is out of character, irate, or just being belligerent. Soft answer turns away wrath, harsh word stirs up anger. So why would I engage with somebody who has ill intent? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think it's more beneficial to a certain extent hearing it come from a woman rather than men, especially podcast world. But I do think that's better general advice than it is just to women.
That's what's up. Who you got going next?
I'm gonna go with Andrew.
Without really knowing the full clip, I would just take it from the perspective of, first of all, just saying no, not to, you don't want to argue. And the scripture that comes to mind to me is that a man would rather dwell on a housetop than be in the house with a contentious woman. And in the
Proverbs
Hebrew,
25
that
and 24.
there it is. There it is. In the Hebrew, that word means, the word contentious, it actually means like a contest. Like it's not just an argument. You're turning this into a contest. And so for a woman to be contentious, it really, she's triggering an innate drive that a man has to compete, and she can't compete with that. And that's not, I don't think that's wise. So I would say with what him said, you go back to a soft answer, you don't become contentious. And a wise woman will recognize if she really wants to, things to go well, then you step back and you don't become contentious. You give a soft answer.
That's what's up. Who you got next?
Let's go with Lost in Translation.
Oh yes, thank you. Listen, I don't know if you guys paid attention to it or not. The way the video was presented to us, it's always in twofold. Okay, first, I like to know who the audience is. You know what I mean? Who she's talking to. Okay, then I need to know the intent of the author. If y'all paid attention to the way that she was talking to whoever it was she was talking to, which I can only suggest it was probably a woman, her tone was so rough. You know what I mean? I just completely tuned out of what she said because I already knew what she was going to say. That's out of that. But my thing is that energy transfer of that roughness is going to be transferred into the other woman. And she's going to take that roughness and transfer it into this other woman's husband or man or whatever. Men don't like to talk to rough women. They don't. Just like y'all like to tell us that men should always watch their tone when they're talking to you. Well, that counts for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? You know, men identify with women who are soft because a soft woman can get her husband's ear a whole lot better. You know what I mean? It really can, because the minute that you start raising your voice or you start using a deeper voice, you're going to turn him off. And he's not going to listen to that. At that point, it's confrontational. Now, here's the thing. Deep down inside, he doesn't know why he's doing it. But naturally, as a man, when confrontation comes, it's either fight or flight. And if he's worth his salt in anything, he ain't finna run. So guess what? You about to have something on your hands. You know what I mean? So my thing is this: a lot of times when we get information from other people, make sure they know exactly what they're doing. It's cool for you to go to school, learn all this other stuff, but there's other layers that's to this as well. Like the same way I'm talking to you guys with softness and smoothness, I want you to be able to take that in so you can understand exactly where it's coming from. So when you do repeat the things that I said, you repeat the energy. And the energy is what transfers to what you feel. And what you feel transfers into change. And I'll tell people like this all the time: man does not marry a woman because of how she looks. He marries her because of how he feels in her presence.
That's what's up, bro. Who you got going next?
Robert, have you been yet, sir?
No, sir. I had some technical difficulties, y'all. I appreciate y'all patience.
Come on, Robert.
Say it like this. What I heard and what I didn't hear in the video And Sid, I'm talking out of my pain again. Okay, I'm talking out of my pain again. I'm for real.
This okay. This is a safe space.
You know. Yeah, thank you.
You're having some more technical difficulties, Robert.
This is pain coming through.
I told you, Street. You see that? Did you see that, Street? I told you. Robert.
That is Renee.
Oh, hold on, y'all.
Hey, you fix it, and then we'll come back to you.
Pain overtook the computer.
Lost, who you got?
What about now? Oh,
Andrew, Andrew has already went. Have you already went? Street Hams, have you went? Who's left?
I didn't
go.
I didn't go.
Prototype, come on, man.
And also, and I think Dwayne.
So I mean, I agree with what she's saying, right? I always try to calm down the situation. I know a lot of people don't have that kind of self-control because if you come at them, they're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? Especially how people lack the respect for one another at this point. You know what I mean? So everybody's such in a hurt place and always feel like they have to defend a point or defend a stance. You really got to be held to. You really got to be a healed individual to approach things like that, or to understand that somebody is irate and you got to be healed and want the relationship. Is what I would say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't want the relationship, then you might be petty. You know what I mean? Like my man said he was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll burn this bridge. Like, it's nothing to me. You know, so it could be one of those things where, like, if I really value this, man, I'll stay calm. I'll let you say what you got to say, and then we'll you know what I mean? We'll talk about it later. Or it could be hey, it is what it is. Say what you want to say, and I'm gonna be petty back, and we'll blow it up. So I think a lot of different variations have to play a part in wanting to do that. So I think Lost said it. Who's the audience, right? You don't necessarily know who the audience is, or and I say that to say, like, a lot of people don't want their spouse. You know what I mean? So while you're in a relationship with your spouse and they going crazy, you don't necessarily care about them. So, you know, you'll jump off the bridge with them. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is.
That's a good
or don't value. A lot of people don't value your spouse. You know what I'm saying? But
that's
good. Same thing.
Yeah, that's good. Who you got going next?
I think it's Ash, right?
No, I went.
Ash went. Dwayne, did you go?
It's Sid.
Yeah, I went to.
Oh, I know Sid hasn't went though.
Yeah, it's Sid.
Wrong with it, Sid.
I thought we went as one.
Okay. Not on the show. No.
Okay. I do think. I don't know. Her tone, I would say, with Lost was quite harsh, I think. And so I think because of that, maybe I looked at it a little bit differently. And the way that it seemed like she was saying was that the person was quite aggressive. If that's what she was saying, like I have to go with Bear on that. I guess it depends on how many times that's happened. Of course, what she's saying still applies. Like, obviously, that's the best way to deal with it. But how many times does this happen, right? Before I'm like, okay, we can't be together. Because if you're always like yelling or whatever she means by irate, when I think of irate, I'm thinking yelling, cussing, all of that stuff, then it doesn't seem like a safe place.
That's fair. So you agree, however, it's contentious, but still at the same time, you can agree, but say that you need to definitely move away from that situation or get some type of help in that situation.
If it's happening like regularly or multiple times, I think so.
Okay, that's what's up. Because people be yelling, but you know what I'm saying? Can you love through yelling?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, like, it depends on your version of what irate is, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely have that understanding. All right, so we're going to take a softer approach. All right, we're going to go with a would you rather. I think everybody went, right? Renee, why are you laughing?
Am I fixed now? Am I fixed, humble dad?
My friend didn't go.
You fixed it.
We can hear you, Robert. We just can't see you.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see me?
No.
Nope,
No, we can hear you though.
What? I'm looking
Fade
right
to
at
black.
the thing.
Bruh.
Probably close the camera.
I hope AI cut this part right here.
Oh.
Yeah, all of you, what you doing, bro? I've had to mute you at least 5 times, my guy.
Phantom of the
all that rough rustling that you got going on in the background, trying to set up your camera. Like, this is the question: would you rather live in the Marvel universe or the DC universe? Who want to go first?
Pre or post Endgame?
Oh,
you choose, bro. You choose. Go ahead, Loss.
Man,
Make it choose one and then give me a short answer.
Man, give me Marvel, man, and it has to be pre Endgame, man. I can't do post Endgame, man.
I bet. Who you got?
Yeah.
Who you got next?
I'm going with Dwayne, man, because he's excited about this one.
no, I am not. I am not excited at all, man. You read that wrong, Lost. Either you making fun of the situation or you just getting at me. Because guess what? I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. I be getting upset with people. People know more about the Marvel universe, the DC universe, than they know about this one. What the Bible say? I don't know, but they could tell you how Thanos did this and how it impacted that. And my bad, I'm a little salty.
I can do both, man. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know
So
nothing.
So you can't even choose one, is what you saying?
I can't choose one. Actually, I can because there's two. There's two choices. Let's go with DC because my name starts with a D. All right, come on with it. Next.
Who you got next?
All right, Streets, come on with it. Or Street.
Yeah. Dwayne chose the right answer, man. That's the only right answer. At the end of the day, we're talking about a world, Marvel, where if you're talking Earth 616, it's gods. It's like actual gods that are fighting them. The only threat in DC is like Darkseid. And like we got matches for that. You're not battling gods, bro. We're civilians. It's not like we about to get our what's it called? Our Green Archer on and get out there and fight. Like we good. We like we're not battling gods. You got Omega level threats, like world threats. Darkseid, we can handle that. You know what I'm saying? But less of the world will be under a threat if we're in DC. So just so I can protect my life, the only answer is DC. If you want to have a higher chance of meeting a superhero, go ahead and go to Marvel. Get your autograph and get murked. But if you want to live, DC.
That's what. So who you got next?
Let's go with Renee.
Well, I'm an X-Men girl, so I'm gonna have to go with Marvel. I love Storm and Wolverine, so I'm gonna go to the Marvel universe.
All right,
So I've watched all the X-Men from 1 all the way to the end. So I love it.
Okay. Who you got next?
My bestest friend, Robert.
Somebody's always your bestest friend. Like,
Are you jealous because you're not my best friend this week?
No, not at all.
It sounds like it.
I appreciate our compatibility, Renee. I love it. I love what we've grown into.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, Marvel all day.
3 kids, 2 divorces.
Right. How can two walk together unless they agree? Marvel for me and Renee. I'm with her. I am with Marvel and I'm with Renee. I love it.
That's crazy. Who you got
Lost,
next?
did you
Robert
go
and Renee.
Yeah, I was the one who kicked it off. I'm the one who said Marvel first.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get things. Andrew. Andrew.
Yes, Andrew.
I'm gonna go Marvel. Got to roll with Marvel.
I
trying to if we can get Superman over to that side, it'll definitely be all good.
Who you got next?
Let's go Proto.
Man, Street made a great point, man. My personal favorite is Cyborg, you know what I'm saying? Hence the logo. But to be honest, Wakanda's a Marvel. So I don't know. Like I want to visit. Well, can I jump back and forth? Because I want to go to Wakanda. you know what I'm saying, and then jump back over and live.
Bro,
in
how
DC.
we do this?
But you
Brother,
don't understand
how we do this though?
I know, but I want to go to Wakanda.
You can't go.
I want to go to Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just
They gonna say they not like us.
No, I got the thing in my lip, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but then I want to jump back over and live in you know what I mean, in DC.
Like he told me, you got to pick a choice, one or the other.
I know, but then you know what I mean. There's Atlantis, you know what I'm saying, in DC. And, you know, that's a heck of a place, but you know they not my people either though. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to go to Wakanda, but I don't want to stay. I just want to visit. You know what I mean? Just for like a year or two, do like an internship or something. You know what I'm saying? A study abroad real quick. You know what I mean? There's no telling what I'm coming back with. But then you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind living, you know, somewhere in you know, what is it, Metropolis or something like that. You know what I mean? Or Smallville or you know something. It's cool. I mean, we got aliens over there, you know, but ain't nobody like, you know, we ain't dealing with that. We ain't dealing with like God level, you know what I'm saying, threats. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in Christ, so I know there's still a God that can kind of manage the situation. You know what I'm saying? And in Marvel, I'm gonna be a little confused. Like, yo, is it, like, who is God? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because this dude can fly with a hammer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, like, is Christ the way? So I'm confused. I really can't answer the question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to visit Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? But I want to believe in Christ too. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna say you want to be in Marvel. Got you.
You know,
no, it's hard
You
to
are
say.
neither hot nor cold, so I will spew you out.
You didn't let me say you had told me I had to pick one.
Prototype, I got you, man. I got you, bro.
It sounds like you want to be in Marvel. Who you got next, Proto?
Let's go with Shifting Sight.
It's
Okay.
on you.
I've been swayed, I think. So Marvel, I think, has the best superheroes. But if we're talking about living in the universe, I'm gonna have to go with DC. Because Street, you made a good point. That's a good point.
See, and my thing was, I'm with Proto. Like, let me go to Wakanda. Just let me go. But then, if I'm in DC and I end up in Gotham, then it's like, you know, it's a lose-lose. So
you go to Metropolis, bro. Nah, you go to Metropolis.
I'm just
you go to Metropolis, bro.
You gotta worry about somebody trying to like get you, you know, just walking down the street in Gotham. So the people,
Metropolis is better, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Metropolis.
The people that are here.
Yeah.
Just
so I'm just on the odds that I might have just enough percentage to get into Wakanda. I'm gonna go Marvel.
0%.
I might make it. That's all I need. That's all
That's
I
a
need.
bit. I think the last person is Ash. Is it on you, Ash? I know you got a choice.
I sure do. I'm going over there to DC and hang out with my pal Joker. I ain't got time for y'all crazies. I'm gonna choose the dark side.
Wait a minute. You saying that we crazy, but you going
Yeah,
to
y'all over here
most
being
crazy?
crazy. Y'all over there being crazy.
So you say you can deal with Joker's crazy?
Yeah, I can deal with that. You know, I can deal with him, his green hair. You know, he gonna go rob a bank. You know, he gonna want to party all night. So that means I'm kidless. You know, I ain't got to worry about nothing except when he get crazy, want to shoot up the place. Then when you know, of course, I'm gonna go get the drink. You know, try to calm him down. You know, hey, take a couple shots, dude. Chill out. We don't need to do nothing. We just robbed this bank. You know, Joker was really just misunderstood. You know.
I can see you.
I don't know. Ever since I seen the Joker movie, they kind of swayed me on him because he was a very demented soul. He just needed a little help. He just wanted a little love. That's all. Then Harley Quinn, she just messed him up.
Oh, you need the backstory and you swayed?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just going over to DC. I'm hanging out with Joker. I'm not hanging out with Batman. Nah, because he get to flying around. Then I'm going to be upset because I'm going to think something in the room. Because, you know, he like to do all that funny stuff with the electronic. He looking at too many things. He up here watching like the police now. Sometimes I don't want to walk straight in the air. Sometimes I just want to live a little dangerous. You know, I can get a bus, you know, and I can put all of us on there. You already know we got a mechanic that's going to go ahead and make it speed and fly, and we can let the top back, you know, because we got the little things. We can push it up, let the top back. Hey, we finna have a whole party.
A convertible bus? Is that what you
Show is. Hey, it's the Joker, baby. Anything.
That's new. That's new.
You chose the right answer for the wrong reason.
Hey, I said, hey, you new to this, baby. I don't go with everybody else. I go to over there. I go
Ever.
hang out over there.
He is on par.
I go park somewhere else. I don't like the general area. I like over there in the dark side over there. A little danger. It ain't gonna hurt nobody.
I did not know this is where that was gonna go. And I was looking for questions. I did not know that was really
She
good.
like a little toxic.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Little.
Y'all know I like a little bit of toxic. You gotta have that. And what happened to him? He got a little toxic, and then here we go. You know, I said I like a little. He like a lot. There's a difference, you know, with the whole hand smile. You know, see, that's a good idea though. You can always smile when you don't feel like it. See, so the dude's covering his pain, and Robert should be able to relate because you know the pain thing. You know, even though he's sad or whatever, he put his hand up, he gonna have a smile on his face because he working through that trauma, working through that pain. You just gotta go back and understand the Joker. He's just misunderstood.
I'm only adamant about talking about my pain because I don't want Sid to call me out in front of company. I don't want you to do that.
She said she can read it.
She can read all right. So
hey,
I feel
we might need to have Sid go around and point out all our pains. We probably don't even know what it is ourselves. You feel me?
Listen, if I self-diagnose, you can't talk to me about that. I have a therapist. Okay, I talk to God. Okay, I get baptized every week. Okay, you're not finna come at me talking about my pain. I acknowledge it. I look at
where you get baptized at every week because I need to go one Sunday.
In the baptismal pool. Okay,
who baptized you?
I dunk them and then I dunk me too.
Well, come dunk me.
You don't want nothing to jump off on you.
Dude, you ain't finna come in here and calling me out. You knew. You ain't finna do that. So I'm just gonna self-diagnose.
Is she licensed or something?
She gonna be coming in here writing prescriptions and stuff like that. I don't got time for that. You got time for that.
Can I come by and get baptized? Can I come by your church and get baptized?
Listen, I dip you and I dip me too. We're gonna dip together, Renee. I got
so when you dip, I dip. That's what you
we
saying?
dip.
Okay.
When I dip, you
they dip, I dip, we dip.
Yep.
Okay. That's okay. This is the last question. I really appreciate y'all energy tonight. It's similar to the first question that we had. And if you've been with me long enough, you know how it goes. Do you believe women would rather be married or single? Single. I couldn't find that song for the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was trying to find it. Proto, on you. What you got?
No, they would definitely rather be single. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing they do when they get some bread is I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? So they rather have a dog. They don't want to listen to a man. You know what I'm saying? Them all about having money is all about ditching the idea of having a man. You know what I'm saying? So most women would rather be single. You know, I'll say that.
All right,
we'll go with Shift This Site.
Oh, you first. Okay. This is, I mean, just the same as the last one, is more nuanced than obviously like, oh, do you think would rather one or the other? I think if you're talking about like Christian women, they definitely would rather be married, right? If you're talking about women in the world, I think that now in this era, like, I think there's more that want to be single at this moment. But I don't think that's at all true for Christian women. I think they almost all of them want to be married.
So if it's like, if we're just answering the question just based off of the question, no layers to it, then I mean, I'm gonna say I think women want to be married, but it's so tough to answer a question just based off of just that one line. But all right, that's all I got.
Why is it tough to answer that particular type of question?
We understand.
Well, it's the same thing like with the men. Like if the same thing like with the men, right? Do men want to be married? My answer, like internally, is yes. But if I dig deeper, because of so many different factors, then you prefer to be single. But the same thing like with women, like yes, I want to be married to a man, but again, based off of society and what we've seen recently, women seem to be very comfortable with being by themselves and living life based off of what they built for themselves. So they say they want to be married, but also I don't need a man. So So I say it's like it's a.
So you basically leaning more towards they want to be single based on the behavior.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're basing it just off of what people say, then it's like, okay, that's what you say. What people say.
That's where you at. I see you. Yeah. That's why I asked it again. That's why I asked it again. So, but you mainly think that you would say that based on what it looks like, especially when you use the caveat of once they get their money, similar to what Prototype was saying, they say they don't need a man. Like that's a mantra. Even when men get money, they don't say I don't need a woman.
Well, yeah, but it's also like because the nuance is, well, and again, if we're gonna say anecdotal, right? Then based off of my experience with these women who are saying this, it's I don't need a man if the man is going to come with A, B, C, and D, and those are not healthy or conducive to the type of marriage that we want to be a part of. So, with that being the case, I'd rather not be with a man. So, it's layers.
That's so bad. All right. Before you go, I want to make sure everybody knows to go check out these people. Who you gonna have next? You said you're gonna have Lost next. Who you gonna have next, bro? Okay. Before you go, Lost, I want everybody to let the people know where can they find you, and then everybody will go, and then we'll come back to Lost. Lost, where can them people find you?
Oh, you wanted me go first?
Yeah, I want you to go, and then we're gonna go around, and then I'm gonna come back to you to answer the question going on the screen.
Yeah, they can find me here, man, on Humble Dad's channel. You know what I'm saying? They can find me on my channel as well, too, man. Lost in Translation Podcast. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram as well. You know,
Ash, on you, where can they find you?
360.diva on IG, and when I make my debut appearance here, I'm going to try to do better because I've been slacking, been letting this job and being a mom get to me. I need some adult activity going on. I need to be interacting with other humans. But okay, so that's it.
That's what's up, Dwayne.
Yeah, you could get catch me on HD's podcast around 8:45.
On mute.
On mute and all that. And then you could also catch me on DwayneJonesPhotography.com.
That's what's up. Prototype. Guess he'll come back. Street.
Yeah, at Street Hymns, all social media platforms, you know what I'm saying? Especially patreon.com/Street Hymns. Support your boy.
That's what's up. Go check out Street. He's a top tier battle rapper for sure. Proto, on you, what you got?
Man, check us out, Prototype Dad Podcast. Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, man. Talk about some real man stuff. So
absolutely. Shifted Sight.
All right, you can find me, Shifted Sight, both Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, and then me, TikTok is gonna be Redeemed Bear, and on Instagram, Coach Bear.
Say it again.
That last part.
Instagram, it's official Coach Bear. TikTok is Redeemed Bear.
Okay, thank you. Renee?
You can find me on Instagram at Renee2Henry, on Facebook, Renee Henry.
That's a bit. Andrew? You on mute.
Marriage Renovators across all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
That's a bit. Robert?
You can catch me on Humble Dad Podcast every third Monday. It's every other third Monday. Give Me a Second podcast on IG. And I just dropped this crazy podcast that's coming out this week on Kelvis Tan Podcast. So we talked about how men manage loss. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's good.
That's a bit. So go ahead, Lost, on you. Do you believe women would rather be married or single?
I think they'd rather be single, man. The evidence is out. You know, all we got to do is look at the divorce numbers. You know, most women file for divorce, especially if they have higher education. You know, and not only that, they look for ways not to be under the guidance of a man. You know, they go out and have in vitro fertilization. The kids don't know who their fathers are. You know, it's just like they don't, for some strange reason, it's like they don't honor men at all. You know, it's like, hey, we're going to use you up until we get what we need to get out of you, and that's it. You know, it's none of that. You know, men don't look at women and say, hey, I'm going to use you up. You know, they look to provide. You know what I'm saying? They want to have kids. They want to teach life's lessons. But for some strange reason, I don't know why women think that having money has something to do with having a husband. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere down the line, they kind of tied those two together. When if you look at it, money had nothing to do with it in the Garden of Eden. God said it was not right for man to be alone. It didn't say that Eve doesn't need no man. You know what I'm saying? None of that was there. That's something that we injected into our lexicon. But until we rip that apart and get back to understanding exactly what our real purpose for and our real roles for in our lives, I really don't think that women consciously are aware of their purpose and their role in marriage. I don't think so, because they, for some strange reason, they assume that men are just supposed to be there to do what they want to do. So the evidence is out. I don't have to convince you of anything. You can look at the numbers yourself. Most women want to be single. You know, they celebrate, you know, marriage breakup parties and all kind of good stuff. You know, meet up girls trips in Vegas and going down to Jamaica and get on these wild rafts and, you know, hanging out in the woods with strange men, you know what I'm saying? All type of wild stuff. To me, that doesn't scream, I want to be a wife. To me, that doesn't scream, I want to be a woman of God. That doesn't scream, you know, hey, I want to be a mother that's respectable in the neighborhood. I don't want to be big mama. You know, I want to turn up, you know, with the sisters. You know what I'm saying? They rarely give each other wise counsel. I mean, it's like women have forgotten how to be women. You know, but I will tell men this: it's going forward. It's going to be much more difficult. You know, even the Bible said it's hard for a man to find a good wife because her value is far above rubies. So that's going to tell you something. That's God telling you, hey, look, it ain't to get a wife is a blessing. So when you get one, you might want to hold on to them, and you might want to deal with her with a little bit of wisdom. You know, because the world is full of those who don't want to be wives. So, gentlemen, govern yourselves accordingly.
Can I ask? Can you be honest? Do you really think that there's not a lot of men that prey on women that looks to use them?
I put it like this: that small percentage that prey on women, those guys were going to do it anyway. Just like there's a small percentage. Yeah. Here's the thing: that small percentage of men that prey on women, women also have to choose those guys. So it ain't necessarily always on the guys. The women have to select those guys. So if they don't, here's the thing: if they don't understand exactly what a husband is, they'll always run to those guys who are a little bit toxic. You know, just like Ashley said a minute ago.
Wouldn't the guys, if it's my job to sell,
right?
That's my job, to be a salesman.
Right.
If I'm a good salesman,
right,
I'm gonna make my sale. So can you really blame women for being sold? Because they
I put it to like this:
a salesman.
I put it to like this: women have always clipped coupons. They've always looked for a good deal. You know what I'm saying? If they've always found a good deal here or there, they know exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean? Well, I think a lot of times we have these conversations in these spaces where we want to take agency away from women as if they don't know any better. You know, they're always on a journey. They're always on a mission, or they're always learning something. Ladies, I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm going to tell you because I love you. Get there. You know, we don't have time for you to wait. Get there, because you don't have time for us to wait. So we're gonna get there. You know what I mean? Do whatever it is you have to take to get there, but just get there. We shouldn't have to wait on you because you wouldn't wait on us. So I'm telling you, either you get there or we're gonna find somebody who's already there. We don't have to wait, and that's all I'm saying.
I would like to interject to the last statement. You saying that you guys don't have to wait. That's cool, fine, dandy. But I know some people that are riding my bus that's going to get on my bus tomorrow, and they're going to have their little bummy man, and they waiting on him to go over there to Home Depot with the mother men that's out there waiting and get called. So, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody want to wait on nobody. That's why I'm in my safe single space. That's why I do take my little single trips and go out and shake something every now and then again. But at the same time, you get tired of waiting on somebody to get together. Remember, I had said this a while back, a couple shows ago, and I said this is a serious question. How long are you supposed to wait on somebody to get it together? Because that is my problem. I ain't gonna lie to you. That is a problem. I've learned to work silently on it, and it is my silent killer because I really do ask y'all because. Okay, what is all that? That is unnecessary.
That's your Mac. That's the Lord telling you wrap that foolishness up.
Oh,
look, like I said earlier, you do have an opportunity to choose somebody that's worth a damn. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop using that as an excuse. Like I'm waiting on somebody to get right. You have the opportunity to choose somebody that's worth a damn. You know, we can't just say this is your man and that's it. You have a choice. You have a choice. You have a
Hey,
choice.
I know everybody done received a package that was damaged, but the good was still good, and we already know that good is what we wanted. So let's not say that pretty things don't come with nice bows and still get a little damage. Because I mean, we had talked about the cake. I know a while back how the
Return
cake
to
was
sender.
damaged on one side, but they got the other side painted up there real good. So you can go ahead and buy that. But when you get it out the box, that little piece is dented, and you're like, well, damn, how can I serve this? Well, we just gonna turn it like they had it at the bakery, and then we gonna sell it. And whoever
No,
gets
we're
that
not.
little
We're
piece,
going to return it to sender because that's not what we paid for.
yeah, whatever. You try it with them hungry
I'm
kids.
sorry. That's just how I operate. Return
Okay,
to sender.
I bet. Ash, did you finish?
I'm done. I just had to
I
say,
bet. Who
I
you got
gotta
going
eat
next?
somebody.
I know who you got. Street said he want to go. You gonna go with Street? As you go, I guess so. Go ahead, Street.
Yeah. To Proto's point, which I completely agree with. For an example, if you work for a company and after working 6 months there, you find out the company is a scamming company. Well, I don't agree with you, Lost. So don't be shaking your head too soon. You're not liable a lot of times if you're able to prove that you didn't know. And that's the issue. A lot of times people can be manipulative. And if you are manipulated, you can't blame the victim for being manipulated. Like you can't go there like that, man. And coming from a place of like being a manipulative man, like I knew what I was doing. They didn't know what I was doing. And so that is a factor. And to answer your question, Proto, yes, men like that do exist. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the majority of men, because like I said, I think majority of men don't even have the opportunity to do that because they don't even have a smooth tongue. They don't know how to talk to women at all. You know what I'm saying? But to act like there's not men out there that's manipulating, come on, man, what we doing? To the question itself, and you could tap in with me, Lost, but I think that the phrase itself, you can't have your cake and eat it too, sure, but women want their cake and eat it too. So the question is, do women want marriage? Yes. If the question is, do women need marriage? That's a different question. But the literal stats say women want marriage, 69%. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what they're saying. And just because a kid shouldn't be touching a stove doesn't mean they don't want to. You know, so it's the desire, irrespective of experience or irrespective of actually going through with it, which is experience, but they still want it. You know, so they may not know what they're signing up for, but the desire is there. And if the question is about desire, then statistically proven, yes, they want it. In the same way men want it. Women want marriage, men want marriage. We may not know what we're signing up for, but then again, I can't name a single person, even the successful marriages, that say, hey, we knew we was getting into, and then we're here. It's like, man, I didn't know. Like the best marriages I know, they're like, yeah, I just look, this ain't it, but we're here, and I'm gonna keep going, and I'm learning to love a different person every year, you know. So I don't think it's more about like the result of getting a good deal. That's a different thing than what you want before you buy.
May I retort?
Please, sir.
All right. It's like I said earlier, most men are responsible for who they choose. Am I not correct?
You said most men are
responsible for who they choose as a
vice
wife.
versa. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they're going to do their work. They're going to do their due diligence, right? Most of the time, they're going to do their due diligence before they ask somebody to marry them, right? And most of the time, most guys say, hey, look, I want to marry you, and here's why. You know,
I didn't.
Women
I've
don't
been divorced
normally
twice.
ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say, because obviously there's men who are like, but to your point, you also earlier mentioned how women are manipulative in the beginning process too, because they put their best selves on. So a man can also be manipulated, and he didn't know. And then by the time
here's the difference. Here's the
you
difference.
can't have it both, bro.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Most women have the opportunity to choose the men that they want. Most guys don't have the opportunity to choose the women that they want. You know how I know? Because most of the guys today are virgins. Most of the guys are not out here getting what they want to get. the small population of men who are actually creating these children, yes, they're doing what they got to do, and they don't necessarily have to settle down. That's the main reason why we have a lot of side chick babies. You know, a lot of kids don't know who their real daddies are. You know, and it plays to, like you said earlier, there are certain guys who do that, but those women choose those guys. You know, it's the same with like Future. He got a whole bunch of women. You know, Nick Cannon, he got a whole bunch of women. Not necessarily he's saying he's manipulative, but those women knew he already had kids, so they chose him, even though they have a whole plethora of men to choose from. But it's like I stated earlier, most women can choose who they sleep with, but most men can only pick the woman that wants to be there. And if we look at the stats, if you look at anybody past 7 years, they're looking to get a divorce. These women are causing these problems. They're causing their own divorces. They're breaking up their own homes. The men, think about it. Why would a man marry a woman he chose and then give up half of his stuff voluntarily? That doesn't make sense. So that means that those women are divorcing these men because they no longer want to be married. Either they weren't prepared or this man wasn't who he thought he was. But my thing is this, I want to make sure that we give women the agency to themselves to say, hey, look, you still have to do your due diligence. You still have to figure out exactly what his background is, who his family is. Did you talk to his mom and dad? Did you talk to his pastor? Did you do what you want to do? Or did you stop at exactly what you wanted? He has a nice car and that's it. You didn't ask him, does he have any kids? You didn't ask him none of that stuff. All you saw is what you were going to get out of the deal. And most women choose men that way.
Can I interject as well?
Yes, go ahead, Bear.
I want to piggyback off of what him said, because again, when you have been a manipulative male, you know exactly what you are doing. And I hate making analogies with anything that is a car or a job, because women in relationships are not on that level. But if you were going to say you need to do your due diligence, if you were going to go pick a car and you test drive that car, and they say you can hold this car for 14 days, and you speed that car 120 miles, you press the brakes, and then on day 25, after the warranty is gone on returning it, this car is completely different from what you anticipated after having done all of your due diligence, right? Because the dealership put that car together so that it would display exactly what it needed to display for you to choose it, right? If I know exactly what I need to do to get you to do what I need you to do, I'm going to hold that face for as long as I can. So whether you talk to my parents, my friends, they also see what I have displayed. You see it all the time. People are like, yo, I've never seen this person. Who were you talking to? So I just think we have to put more onus on, if you want to say the minority of men who are doing that, as opposed to the women who are duped by it. Because earlier you said men choose. You said men get to choose. And then just right now you said, well, men choose who choose them. So it's like, okay.
No, I didn't say that.
You
run
didn't
the tape back for the cardio.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood things.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, people do me like this all the time. I'm used to it. But like I stated earlier, that's a bad example. I'll tell you why. Because I used to sell cars. I know what I'm talking about. If you abuse the car, you're abusing it against the manufacturer's warranty. So that's on you. You see what I'm saying?
Though, bro.
No, here's my thing. If you go out and you damage a car and you abuse it, that's on you. You going beyond the manufacturer's warranty.
The person knew they were selling a bad car. That's manipulation, fam.
No, it's not. You still have your due diligence to do the Carfax, run it to your mechanic, making sure that you ain't got no oil leaks. That's still on you. No matter what somebody trying to say you, you're not gonna just sit up there and eat something to somebody just because they made it.
If I buy a limit,
you're gonna check
and I take that limit back to the dealership, who's responsible?
It's your responsibility for buying the vehicle.
It's on you now.
No. Yeah. Who's responsible? The dealership or me?
No, it's you. You're buying the vehicle. It's on you.
It's on you. But what he's telling you is like, if I got the same with the marriage, it's a contract. So it's on you. That's why you get hurt after the process. But if somebody manipulated you, bro, we don't invalidate the victim, bro. Like, just because you signed a contract don't mean you got manipulated into signing the contract.
Who hasn't winning? I'm gonna add something real quick. Who hasn't winning yet? Okay. This is my thought process, real quick. Yeah, and because y'all time is very valuable to me, and so I want to kind of wrap it up. But I'm gonna let y'all go. In my estimation, people cannot be manipulated. people know their boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, that's on you. Think about that for a moment. A man cannot get into a woman's drawers unless she wants him to. As simple as that. There's no way that a dude can smooth talk you enough to where you say, yes, now I want to give up my drawers. You already have decided that you want, a woman has already decided that she wants to give this dude the drawers or not. It's not manipulation. Is what I'm saying to you. Okay. There's no, because once you have boundaries, the person that's trying to overstep your boundaries or your red flags, if you see them and you still allow things to happen, that's the woman's responsibility. You realize that even though, like if we want to use analogies, it's my responsibility to keep my house safe. Right? It's my responsibility. It's nothing that a robber can do. If he's trying to get in, then I got something waiting for him. Right? Because I have a boundary. I have protection in and outside the house. So there is no manipulation for them to get inside the house. Same thing with a woman. Right? A woman has to have boundaries. Men do too, but we're talking about from the position of women are the ones that decide who goes on dates and who don't. Because they carry the power of the yes and the no, right? And so since they carry the power of the yes or the no, they decide who goes on the dates, which furthermore lets you know they decide who has sex and who doesn't. And she already knows, and the women can talk about it, that they already know if they're going to give it to you or not. There's nothing that the manipulation has anything to do with it. Ladies, what say you? Go ahead, C.
I just want to piggyback on your analogy with the robbing. So here's what the manipulation is when you have allowed somebody into your house already, right? They're not a robber who's coming and you got a gun. That's not what the manipulation looks like. The manipulation looks like I've already invited you into my home and you're stealing stuff in my home when I'm there, right? There's no gun. You don't even expect it, but I'm there and I'm taking stuff. That's the manipulation.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that. But you as an individual, what I'm really referring to is the sex aspect of it. Saying that the woman's house, the box, as they call it, is the woman's house, is the house. She is the dude talking about getting inside. Like the reason why he got inside is because she said yes. There is no manipulation for a woman.
Yeah, but the reason she said yes is because he showed her what she wanted to see.
Which it would be what? A ring?
I mean, it depends on the woman.
A ring?
Well, no, I mean,
right?
Ideally, right?
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Women are giving up the goods without getting the ring and then blaming the man for being a manipulator.
You didn't see that episode of Fresh Prince?
That's TV, man. Keep it going.
You feel me? So what I'm saying is that yes, there are men that are trying to manipulate women, but women know that they want to have sex with the dude. The dude doesn't finesse her into having sex. Renee, what you got?
To answer the question, I do believe women want to be married rather than being single, because I do need a man. I'm not going to ever say I don't need one. I do need one. I'm going to always need one. Doesn't matter how much money that I make. I'm going to always need a man. I do believe that people can be manipulated. I don't think it's like totally, oh, you need to do X, Y, and Z, because even if you get married, the person can switch and change on you. Like, I don't think nobody willingly is going to marry like an abuser or something. You can be in a perfect marriage and one day they just start beating the hell out of you. And then like you never saw that side. And so like they played all the cards right. Y'all got married and now you with somebody totally different. So is it my fault that he turned into somebody that I didn't know, that I didn't see, and his family vetted that he was a really good guy? And then now if I'm crying out for help, he's never done that. We've never heard that before. So is it my fault that I'm getting beat up every day? Or is it his fault because he manipulated me thinking he was a good guy and he's really a piece of crap. So I do think manipulation can take place in relationships.
All right, bet. Who you got going next?
My bestest friend, Robert.
Renee, I think my camera worked this time. I think I'm good this time. I think
It
I'm
does.
good. And for the last time, Sid, I'm talking out of my pain, okay? This is for the last time, all right? I just don't want you to call me out. I think women do want to be married up to the level of their accountability. The moment we start challenging their accountability, the moment that we have to put them in perspective where we have to, and you have to explain your thought process past your makeup, past your hair, past, you know what I'm saying, past what benefits you. The moment that I hold you accountable, all of a sudden then you're willing to go to Proto, you're a networking guy. We have a concept in networking called open shortest path first. They're willing to go to the open shortest path first. That's not gonna, they don't even know the realms of accountability they don't have. He's new enough to do the same crap you did in the last relationship. And once he learns it, he ain't gonna want you either. And so when you're not wanted, you in turn say, I don't need a man, so that you don't have to address where you failed the last time. And so I despise the thought of, you know, women operating in a space where they're empowering that stupidity. You know what I mean? They're empowering those thoughts. They're like Lost in Translation said, they're having breakup parties and they're having, they're celebrating Father's Day as women, but they do that because they don't want to live in the realm of their own accountability. And so then when I make you explain a thought, instead of you doing that, you start talking about your own pain and you don't have the capacity to listen. And so a man is going to only deal with you until you can't listen. Once he identifies that you can't listen, you have now become not worth it. And I'm speaking from a man who's lost a lot. Once I know you're not listening to me, whether I want marriage or not, watch this, whether you want marriage or not, you're not worth it. You have no validity, you have no worth, you have no value, and my sacrifice with and for you is now irrelevant. And so now when I treat you like the streets, now you're saying I manipulated you. No, I didn't manipulate you. You lost your opportunity with me because I was a provider. I thought about security. I had vision for this. That's the word they like to throw out, vision, right? God forbid you lose your realm of accountability. The first thing you want to attack is my vision. I ain't never not had vision. You just allowed me to realize that having vision for you was a waste of my time. You see what I'm saying? And so I just believe for women that are in a space that are trying to figure out what that looks like, if you want to keep a man, if you want to go into the realm of that question and say, I want a husband, learn how to be accountable. You want to have a man, learn how to be present. Learn how to, when you say you want him to communicate, you actually listening to what the heck he got to say. When he starts talking and you make the conversation about you, you immediately are not worth it to him. And so just to kind of point back, because my camera messed up, the lady was talking about, you know,
I can see you
being a king and talking and knowing when to speak and when to be quiet. The problem is they are quiet after they've already caused wrath. You're quiet after you've already got on my nerves. You're quiet after you done already called me the name. You're quiet after you can't be quiet after you cause commotion and think you're worth it. I'm just being real right now. I'm talking about 2 divorces. I'm talking about some kids. You're not worth it after you've caused commotion in my life. See it, I've learned from what it is that I've done. I'm not in pain, but I'm literally realizing that. We had a question, I'm done here, I promise. We had a question time on the podcast and he said, hey, does love have conditions? And the guy was like, oh no, I believe in unconditional love. Bull crap, it got conditions because I've lost enough, I've failed enough, and I'm not willing to put loss on the future legacy that I have. So yes, it has conditions. And part of the conditions is when you don't want to listen, your butt got to go. I almost cussed y'all. Your butt.
Come on, bring it in. Bring it in. Give a hug. Give me a hug.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't operate with accountability, man. And I'm sick of it.
Who you got, bro?
Because I did say whether married and single earlier. I say they want to be single, baby, because somebody had asked how I know what's going on in Jamaica. Baby, the snippets is out. Baby, the truth is getting out what's going on in Jamaica's on these girls' trips. Remember I said it before? I had said that women now, since they don't have a man, they're inviting the girlfriends on the trip. So you still get the experience, but you're not getting the experience with the man. See what I'm saying? It's the difference. You still going, but you're not getting the man experience. See, that's where I differ. I want to go, but hey, I want somebody next to me, and I don't need another set of boobs. I do apologize. I don't want that next to me. I don't want to always go out with my friends. My goal is whenever I decide to take that step is I want to be able to travel with you. I want to be able to experience certain things. I understand it's an ego trip when it's not our first. We're not feeling experience this firsthand together. I understand that. But at the same time, you gotta understand now women is going out being men. Cause you ain't got one, you start acting like one. You're making all the money, okay? Then somebody can't tell you nothing, but you still need a man to open the jar. But then you go buy a man contraption to open the jar, or you still need a man to cut the grass because you too good to go out there and learn how to cut the grass. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. They want to be single, they don't want to be married. They may think they want to be married, but you gotta understand if you're going by the Bible, y'all know I don't even go there. But if you're going by the Bible, the man supposed to lead. You're not supposed to lead. So you can't lead from the back either. I don't care what level in basketball say point guards don't lead from the back, but you can't do that with a relationship. That's why I stay in my single round. Y'all go ahead.
Dwayne, on you.
Man, all right. Well done, y'all. I appreciate that. Lost, you said earlier about shopping with coupons. Man, I love me a good deal, boy. I love me a good deal. I love me some electronics, right? I love them, but I ain't gonna pay for retail. I want to get stuff like at a discount. So I have been scammed before. Why? Because I want to get things at a discount. So where do I go? Craigslist, OfferUp, these secondhand sites, right? I'm looking for a deal, okay? Don't mind me, okay? But dadgummit, when something is too good to be true, it's too daggum good to be true. Be weary, okay? Be weary. Vet. The vetting process is very important. Who was it? Antoine. I remember his name. Mate selection. That was his word. But was that 2023?
Yeah, that was a while ago, my guy.
It was. Mate selection is important. Why is that important? Because guess what? You have so much dependent on it. So there's a huge difference between manipulation and love. A huge difference between manipulation and love. They are on the opposite spectrum of each other. Whenever you love someone, you're going to do something for their best interest. Whenever you are manipulating them, you're doing it for your interest. So, with that being said, it is each person's responsibility because each person are an individual until they become married. And once they become married, they become one. Once they get married, they become one. So, can people change during that process? Absolutely. Absolutely, they can. And is that a scam? No. You thought you were getting a good deal. Come on, man. You were getting a good deal. And sometimes, like people talk about red flags and green flags and stuff. Let's be real with each other. Whenever we look at somebody, are we looking for the red flag in them or the green flag in them? Are we looking for the red flag in them or the green flag in them? I give people the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong. So let me get to the question. Do you believe women would rather be married or single? Or do they want to be lied to? Yeah, I threw that in there.
Let's go.
You said it. You said it. I could do it however I feel like it, okay? I could do it however I feel like it. Guess what? I believe a majority of these women out here, they want to be lied to. And honestly and truly, I'm not in it for that. Because if I lie to you, I'm manipulating you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you all about the product. I'm going to tell you about the deficiency is in me. And I'm going to tell you about my goals, my dreams. Either you're interested in it or you're not. And as we go on this journey, we're going on this journey together. Why? Because you signed up. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to lie to you. And my expectations from you is for you to do the same to me. I don't appreciate, and I would not like for you to lie to me.
I approve that message.
That was phenomenal.
That's
Frederick,
it.
Street, did you already go?
Street sleep.
Yeah, he sleep. He sleep. I
don't think Street.
I'm not asleep. I'm not asleep.
It was either Frederick or did you already go?
Andrew hadn't won as well.
Okay.
I
bet.
responded to loss and then gave my answer.
That's a bit. I appreciate that. I think Proto, have you went already too?
Yeah, I
went. Bet Fred, you didn't go though, have you? All right, let's go with Frederick.
All right,
Andrew. Yes,
I would say that I think that I would say that women do want to be married and they do want a husband, but I would say that probably a good percentage of them are not ready to be a wife. So that goes back to, and I think there's some men that also want marriage, but are not necessarily ready to be a husband. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about purpose. And I want to quote one of my favorite Bible teachers or authors on that. And that's Dr. Miles Monroe, who said that where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So we want something and don't really understand what it requires of us. And then again, I think one of the reasons that women are filing for most of the divorces is because they want the marriage. They plan diligently for the marriage. They got the dress and the bridesmaid and all that, but they don't understand or didn't do the same due diligence for what it takes to prepare themselves to be a wife, right? And the Bible doesn't say a man that finds a woman that becomes a wife. It says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. And so I think that goes back to that, the lack of knowledge and understanding perspective, that we want something, but we need to understand what we're getting and what we really want and what it's going to require of us on both sides.
That's what's up. This has been phenomenal. Appreciate everyone. Let me know if you want to come back because it's been hot in these streets. No pun intended.
Literally.
No pun intended.
HD, before you go, man, I'd like to drop a little gem on you if you don't mind. And take a half a second. A lot of times when people get in relationships, they expect those people to remain the same. Well, my thing is this: what part of you did you play in that person still not being the same person that you got with? You know what I'm saying? Whether it be man or woman. How did you go into creating this new person? Remember, when you two get together, you become one. And now you're a homogeneous entity. So my whole thing is this: what role are you not agreeing with that's in you? And I tell people all the time, people love themselves through you until they can love to learn you. You see what I'm saying? And what happens is a lot of times people always want to make sure that person never changes. But inevitably that person is going to change because of your presence. You know what I mean? Your presence, your influence, your expectations, all of that stuff goes into who this new person is going to be. So my thing is this: if you don't like who the new person is that you've discovered, you might not like yourself, because that's where it's coming from. And that's man or woman.
That's what's up. That was a different half a second, though, Lost in translation, just so you know.
I thought Lost was going to give me my kudos for not interrupting today.
I appreciate that, though.
Oh, yeah, you did well today, Renee.
See?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well. Okay.
Thank you so much.
He taught you something. And you
See, I am not too big to learn.
Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.